Good evening, sir. My name is Adesuwa Sage.
My name is Mohammed Bello Adoke, Senior Advocate of Nigeria.
Yes. And I think something that is not often spoken about is when your office, along with the president, declined to prosecute Muhammadu Buhari, former president, especially after the panel was
Muhammad Buhari would not have been that gracious. He would not have been that gracious. He would have been carried away by the political wind. His political morals and hangers on would have gouged him on. I mean, just like he was gouged on to persecute a lot of people in this country. How is truly kind to them? President Jonathan has the grace of mind, has the ability, the cunning and designing ability to let go.
Yes.
I mean, to say, no, this is an institution. We must not destroy this institution because of one single individual. The president considered defeat as a sitting president, even when there were grounds for him to have disputed the election. Come on, that's a great guy. He listened to some of us. He rubbed mind with us. He had a mindset of his own, don't get me wrong. He had always said he was ready to use himself as a symbol of sacrifice for the democracy of this country to survive.
Yes, he said.
And for the unity of this country. And he has said admirably that his blood, no Nigeria's blood was worth his ambition.
Yeah.
And not only was it a precept, he lived it out. When there were some hawks within our government then, and I'm happy Chidoka Osita is there, you can ask him. Yeah. There were some hawks within the government who became the darling of the Buhari's administration. They were actually trying to get President Jonathan not to concede defeat. But those were the people that became the darling of Buhari's administration. And those of us who looked at the interests of this country, who stood by the president and encouraged him to do what he wanted to do, are those that were persecuted in the guise of fighting corruption. Let us hope that this same government that fought so viciously, when scrutinized, will be free of the impurities of corruption.
I hope so too.
And I'm sure the news that you're getting, the signals that you're getting are not too good.
For what, the new government?
For what you're getting from the signals you're getting about the outgone government that has fought and destroyed everybody's reputation and tried to throw people under the bus or under the train. I hope that the smell will cease when at the end of the day.
I hope so too. So let's talk about your persecution. Prosecution or persecution? Are you willing to talk about that? Because I want to ask.
Somebody's. You're a lawyer, you know that. You will be a follow-up talk on that when the court gets out. But as a very responsible senior lawyer, I shouldn't talk about it. What I can tell you is that I've put on hold my practice of law at the moment because I'm going for it.
Okay.
As a respectable person, I will not don the weekend tie until the prayer of God.
Okay. Has it been personally difficult for you?
It's been difficult for my children. It's been very difficult for my wife. And of course, when I see the pain my daughter, my only daughter, who I had to go through because of my persecution, is the worst form of pain anybody can go through. For me to have contemplated at a point in time to commit suicide, I tell you the pain I went through. I went through that pain because I could not believe that the country I served with all my heart would subject me to that kind of indignity and inhuman treatment. By people who became the most incompetent set of human beings. You would have thought they had something to offer. And I had wished that they would have persecuted me having something to offer. Not persecuting people and then coming to do worse than any other government in this country. It's a shame.
It is.
It hurts. It contributes to my pain. You can understand when you're going and you can understand my pain when somebody met me at Sipol Airport and called me a thief.
Yes.
You can understand my pain when once I met somebody in Ghana. I was in exile in Ghana for 3 years. I went to see a friend in Ghana and I met one young man, they call him Dimian. And this Dimian, used to do oil business in Nigeria. And then they just introduced me. I said, this is Nigeria's former attorney general. I said, that thief who stole all the money, all the money in OPO 245.
Wow.
Or I was already an exile. I felt like choking him to death. But can I? I was in a country. I wouldn't be facing that kind of accusation and go and commit murder. So that's it. You can imagine.
He said that
pain.
in your face.
To my face, not that he said it behind me.
Damien from England.
Not from. I don't know whether he's from England.
Okay.
He works in. He's a Ghanaian.
Oh.
He's a Ghanaian.
Oh.
He said that. So many times you're going, people are jeering at you, people are gossiping about you. No, let me tell you something. People will even come and ask you for the impossible because they believe you have a PL245 money in your pocket. I have this friend of mine who I assisted in sending her to England. When I came to this country, I thought they genuinely came to sympathize with me and commiserate with my problem. She just called me aside and said, please, I'm building my house, I've run out of money, can you give me $60,000? Among several other doubts. You know, so the aftermath of the accusation, the expectation, you have family members that will just call you and ask, make all kinds of demand on you. Not even knowing that sometimes the meal ticket, let me tell you, people say I'm loyal to Governor Wike. Governor Wike is one of the people that assisted me tremendously in this country when I came back. Those I've called my friends, that those I even thought would be there for me, and some of them that were supposedly close to this government, would not even come near me when I was detained. But Governor Wike, Governor Nasir El-Rufai, and Senator Smart Adeyemi, one Senator Issa Echocho, and Yakubu Oseni, were the people, and one of the ministers in Buhari's government, Jadi Agba. They were gracious enough to identify with me irrespective of their position. And you expect me to place these same people on the same pedestal with those that were hiding and distancing themselves with me? I won't do that. I won't do that. When
did your exile end?
When I came back to this country, December 19, 2019.
That's when it ended?
That's when it ended.
Okay. Yes. I thought it was more recent.
No, not more recent. So that was when it ended. And it will impress you to know that I was arrested at the airport. I was detained for 55 days.
Yes.
Under the very primitive reign of Ibrahim Mustafa, and he kept saying he was detaining me on orders from above, notwithstanding that I was a court order ordering my release. That was the kind of government that they ran in that era.
Do you think this government is going to be different?
You know the good thing about Mohammed Bello Adoke? I am a PDP stock. I hold a PDP card. Well, the good thing is that Nigerian sees him as somebody who is very competent. All right? He's assumed to have run an administration in Lagos, and he's assumed to be likely very successful. And so I think he's going to run a very decent government. I'll be surprised if anything to the contrary happens.
Yeah.
I think he has the courage, I think he has the intellect, and I would pray to God that may God give him the health, the strength, and the ability to navigate this country out of the gates.
That's fair. I think some people might compare, you being held by Magu and EFCC for 55 days to Emefiele's being held by DSS for an innumerable number of days.
Yeah, but I tried to find out, and I was told that he was being detained legally because there was a court order authorizing his detention.
There was a court order authorizing it.
That court order had been renewed.
Okay.
And so to that extent, I want to believe that they would have not complied.
Okay.
And that they've not gone outside the pen. And I'm also told and read it that he's been charged to court.
Okay.
All right. In my own case, Magu held me despite the fact that I was no longer a court order and the court order had expired. But in this very British manner of carrying out slavery through the instructions of his superior, he decided to keep me to suit his fancy. But today he's my friend. That's life.
I think that's politics.
Politics.
Really?
That shows generosity of spirit on my part.
Really? I mean, it does, definitely.
I don't think he has that kind of
spirit to forgive.
I don't think so.
I think,
And don't forget that I've been of help to him.
You've been of help to him?
Yes, it's in my book. I've assisted him. And I'll assist him again if I have the opportunity to show him that I have a superior moral content.
I think that's impressive. Especially...
Let me tell you, I'm at my best when I help those that like hurt me. Trust me. It gives me infinite joy.
I feel like that too.
Yes.
But I mean,
because you know what? It's God fighting my battle.
Yes. When someone who has trampled on you needs to come and ask you for a hand up, it shows that God has been faithful. So I understand
my
that.
only regret in life was there was a guy that hurt me so badly when I was in the university. And I was very hurt. And then when I became a minister, he came to me for assistance and I didn't do it. I regretted it till this moment.
Is this the guy with the jacket?
No, not the guy with the jacket. The guy with the jacket unfortunately died. It's the guy whom I asked for the meal ticket and told me he had it, but he can't give me because he had a tight budget. So when he came, I said I can do it, but unfortunately, I will not do it for you because I have a problem. But I should not have done that. That was wrong on my part. I should have shown him a better version.
You should have shown him grace.
Yeah, I should have shown.
Extended grace.
I should have shown. I mean, and I had at the end, I told my wife, and you know, my greatest critic is my wife, my best friend, my greatest critics. And I value her because she's my classmate. She tells me the truth. And whatever opinion my wife expresses about me, I take very serious. You know? And so when I told her, she said, no, you didn't do well. You know, my daughter is another critic of mine. We don't get on very well because we are alike. You know? So I regretted that. But other than that, I try as much as possible to have a forgiveness. I want God to forgive my trespasses. I want God to forgive my shortcomings. I want God to extend His grace to me. And so why should I be short of extending my own grace to others who are less fortunate? Or those who have found themselves on the sloppy part of life?
I think that's fair. When you found yourself on the darker sides, whether it was mentally or when you were going through financial constraints, a few people came through for you.
When I found myself, the first one.
Huh?
When I found myself
like in a mentally tough space.
No, the most difficult period for me, people said I shouldn't have left the country. I didn't set out to go on exile. I didn't set out to go on exile. But those who said I shouldn't have left the country, when these people were at the peak of their infamy, were being ignorant. At that time, they could have sacrificed me, they could have killed me, I could have died, and people would have held them. Because the truth, they don't know. And so I needed to be aware to have a position, the level playing ground where I could fight back and state my own side of the case to the world.
Yeah.
But what I never wanted, let me tell you the pain, I never wanted to be docked. It was the most embarrassing pain that I would take to my grave. The fact that I was docked is a pain I live with.
The fact that you were what?
I was docked. I had to enter the dock to take a plea. And my country tried me. It's the biggest pain that I live with. The fact that my country defamed me globally in the word of the then Attorney General, that they knew that they were wrong, but that they did it in the national interest.
Malami?
Yes, remains the biggest pain that I live with. And I find that very distasteful. When a country's Attorney General will swear to an affidavit knowing that he's lying, he perjured, just because he wanted to win a case in the national interest. And then it doesn't matter if you throw your citizen under the bus. You understand?
Yeah.
I mean, says a lot.
This is the PNID case. Yes. And your name was recently, it was dropped from the case.
It has to be dropped because I did nothing. I was not involved. I had nothing to do with it. But Malami swore to an affidavit where he made all kinds of dubious allegations and even referred to the OPL 245, a case in which he had written an opinion earlier on to say that the Attorney General did nothing. The then Attorney General did nothing. I mean, it's something that I cannot live with. I pray to God that, well, I've forgiven him and hope that what he did to me.
I was just going to ask you.
Yes. When I've forgiven him and pray that what he did to me does not happen to him, I hope he would be able to live with his own conscience. The last time I met him and I brought it up, he denied he ever did such a thing. But unfortunately for him, because it's a pathological lie, he did not realize that these are recorded documents. He did not realize that. Somebody forged an email. The person was put to trial. The trial was aborted because it would damage their case in England. I mean, come on. A national interest and aggregation of the right of the citizens of the country. You cannot sacrifice the rights of the citizen in the larger interest of monetary benefit to the country. An unmerited windfall that you are aiming at with some so-called civil society, goings. May God forgive him. I'm forgiving him. May God forgive him.
Speaking of national interest,
so he said, I don't know what constitutes national interest in his own, the parameter that determines his own national interest. I don't know the parameters. I don't know the parameters. I wish I knew the parameters he was using. But I know that the parameters of national interest is defined by purely altruistic reason, by purely objective standards, you understand, based on the rule of law, not based on the rule of thumb, not based on the rule of might, and not based on malice.
That is fair. I want to ask maybe more specific questions about Attorney General life, like being Attorney General. You work with Attorney General of states.
Well, you liaise with them. You tried some areas, for instance, when we're trying to set up the sovereign wealth
sovereign fund.
Yes. There was a lot of dispute. People like my learned brother said, Fashola and Co. did not believe in the sovereign wealth scheme. We had to work with all the various attorney general. At that time, my wife was the Attorney General of Taraba State. I had to use her to liaise and even lobby some of our state's colleagues.
Yes.
To see the reasoning with the federal government and look at the larger economic interest in the overall interest of the nation. That's what I call the national interest, if I'm coming with that. But look at the national interest, and ultimately we got through. And sometimes we have some cases which we cannot prosecute for one logistic reason or the other. We're able to give fares to the attorneys general in the state. I particularly commended Ipaye in my book.
Yes.
We gave him some of our cases on the for us, and they got and he did it admirably.
Yeah.
So we had such kind of good relationship. We interface among ourselves.
Yeah. Some people watching might not be aware what the PNID case is, but
I don't talk about only one of the cases I spoke about in my book.
In your new book. Coming out.
In fact, Emefiele himself constituted himself. He became the Minister of Finance under the issue of PNID. He became the Attorney General. He became everything. He became the Foreign Minister. He became the Economic Advisor to the President. He took over everything. He was even recommending people for prosecution from his wretched office. The man was Attorney General because an Attorney General on seat then had abdicated his responsibility and had gone on a frolic.
Should we talk about that? The most recent Attorney General of the Federation.
He's just been honored with a national honor, in recognition of his very profound contribution to the nation, in the estimation of the government of the day at that time. So that should tell you that in their estimation, he's done well. And since I'm not the one who appointed him, and since his appointer sees him, deemed it fit to give him a national honor, he must have done very well by their standards. Yes. About him because he's my junior in the legal profession.
Okay.
He's my junior as an Attorney General.
Okay.
Before Jesus Christ, it was John the Baptist.
Okay. But I want to ask about, Attorney General and the Minister of Justice is embodied in one person, and it's a political appointment.
I had wanted the office separated.
Yeah.
I wanted it separated, as I'm still an advocate of the separation of the offices. And I still believe that Attorney General must be insulated from the politics. And then this issue of reappointment and everything, which should be given a specific term of 6 years. Not renewable, and should be insulated and should not easily be removed from office except by a treated majority by the National Assembly. And that is when you get Attorney General that will have the courage to be the job. Because Attorney General, who is the lackey of the president, would never do what the country wants. Attorney General who has under consideration and the dictate and demand of the office will always work in accordance with the same dictates. And that's the unfortunate truth.
Yeah.
So we all have our various reasons for wanting to be Attorney General. I've been Attorney General, alhamdulillah. I don't look for anybody invited today, I won't accept it. I have had my time. I'm going to be 60 in the next 40 days, and I'm grateful to God.
Thank God for that.
Yes.
I agree with you in that the person who is in charge of justice for the nation and protecting the nation's interests legally and upholding the rule of law should not be at the mercy of the president.
We got close to having this operation when, unfortunately, the constitutional amendment in 2014, 2015, I mean, as seriously as I could, and I couldn't have just bring myself to advise the president to sign it. In fact, when they wanted to separate the office, they did give me a very clumsy manner that it would have created more confusion than solve the problem one they used to solve. The amendment did not even define who was going to be the chief law officer of the federation.
Who wrote that?
It was there. It was under the. I mean, the amendment was done under the Ekweremadu chairmanship of the
Senate.
The Senate Committee on Constitutional Amendment at that time. I do hope that in the current National Assembly will have the courage, and the State House of Assembly, Houses of Assembly will have the courage to take a second look at it and get proper expert advice on how to go about it, and look at what has happened in other jurisdictions like here and so on.
And South Africa. Yeah, I'm so grateful for your time. I feel like I've taken up so much of your time today.
I'm grateful to talk to you. I mean, I rarely talk to the president, as you may have noticed. You would tell me that you're a lawyer until you started interrogating me.
I am a lawyer, yes.
Yeah, thank you very much for the audience.
Thank you so much.
Available, and like I said, I'm going to send to you 20 copies of my book on Monday. I have them in the office, and then I'm going to make sure that you're the first to read my book in December, inshallah.
Inshallah, I'll read it cover to cover.
And ask me questions.
I will ask you questions. Thank you so much, sir.
From your questions, you really read my book.
And
I'm very gratified.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you everyone for watching. I hope you have a lovely week.